starting with the terrible battle between Gilgamesh and Enkidu. The gates of the city opened. Hiram entered, leading Enkidu by his hand. The people gathered around them, all the artisans and the workmen, old men and women and children. They exclaimed, they stood open-mouthed. Some jeered, but others gazed with admiration at the great stature of the wild man, his noble bearing and his horns of a wild beast. Boys walked beside him, trying to touch his hand or to keep pace with his steps. As they approached the temple of Ishtar, Enkidu noted many people hurrying along the streets. "Stop," one of them, O Hiram, "so that I can ask him why he hurries so." When they stopped the man, he said, "I am on the way to the temple, to the family house. Today, the people will all come together to try to choose a bride for the Gilgamesh, the king, for this is their right. It was decided even at that time of his birth. But let's hope that this time he will accept our choice, for he is the most willful king." Hiram and Enkidu joined the hurrying crowd. The temple was the living place of Hiram. And when they arrived there, she went inside, leaving Enkidu to wait for her at the gates. Hiram would now put on the ear pendants and the bracelet and the necklace, which were proper for her to wear when she led Enkidu before the king. Gilgamesh, too, came along that way. He walked through the streets, among the people, across the open spaces. He approached the temple of Ishtar in order to look upon the bride that the people hoped to choose for him. He came to the gate through which Hiram had gone. He prepared to enter, but Enkidu stood in his path. Enkidu placed his foot across the opening. He barred the entranceway to Gilgamesh, the king. The people fell back, appalled. However tall and powerful this wild man might be, how did he dare cross the path of the king? Was not Gilgamesh, after all, equally tall and equally powerful? Gilgamesh tried to brush aside the insolent fellow, but Enkidu leapt upon him like a wild bull. They grappled with one another. They destroyed the threshold. They demolished the wall. It seemed that each was as powerful as another, and each as angry. They fought. They wrestled. The round pillar of the gateway crumbled, scattering its colored tiles across the streets. Bricks and mortar were loosened, and everywhere was the dust of battle. Enkidu sought to bend the back of the king as he had twice wrenched that of the lion, but the king was more powerful and did not yield. He, on the other hand, caught hold of the soaring horns of Enkidu and held him fast, slowly twisting his neck, but Enkidu broke away and again lunged at each other. Which one would destroy the other? The populace surged around them and would have interfered to save their king. But the elders of the town cautioned them, "Stand back. The king will subdue the wild man. Your help would only shame him." Now the king seemed to prevail, and now the wild man. They sweat, they bled, and neither seemed to weaken. Hiram came to the temple gate and drew back again, her heart failing her. Gilgamesh, the lofty and unconquerable, weakened and fell to his knees. Again, the crowd surged forward to help him, but the elders cried out, "Stop! Whatever happens is the will of the gods." But even as Gilgamesh sank to his knees, his spear rested upon his back, and his stone axe remained at his side untouched. He knelt, helpless, his breast exposed to the fury of the wild man, when, strangely enough, Enkidu lifted him to his feet. They clasped hands, they embraced. "I salute you, Gilgamesh, lion and great fighter. Welcome to my city, O godlike Enkidu." They thereupon pledged eternal friendship, the king and the wild man, from the steppes, who had been sent by the gods to destroy him. The elders of Uruk stared at each other, wondering. And then we'll pick back up with the monster Humbaba.